Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So today we're going to talk about Archfiends. This archetype has a legacy. For those who don't know, the first ever Archfiend card was Summon Skull, which was played by Yugimoto in the anime. We already know this. But a lot of people probably haven't noticed this text right here that was given to the card in later years. And this didn't happen just with Summon Skull. This also happened with Beast of Tall War. This also happened with the new Beast of Tall War, which just came out in the OCG, by the way. And as we go along, you'll see that there are many other Archfiends that have been adapted from other strategies. So we're gonna play this out. Throughout the years, we just kept getting more and more Archfiends, or more ways of adapting to the strategy. All these Archfiends that you're seeing right here, they all revolved around Summon Skull. But those are not the only category of Archfiends that we've had in the years. For those who don't know, these are the Pandemonium Archfiends, which they all revolved around the field spell Pandemonium, which is an all archaic strategies. Almost all these Archfiends also revolve around self-destruction effects in the standby phase or payment effects, and they all revolved around die roll effects. Back in the day, this was a very cool concept, but this is way too archaic now. This version of Archfiend is just not playable anymore. Pandemonium is still a cool card though. Making it so players don't have to pay for life in the standby phase is just a little bit too slow already. But yeah, let's go to the next category. In 2014, I think it was, we got what is called the Infantry Archfiends. These are the Archfiend monsters that revolved around the Palabyrinth, and they also revolved around self-destruction effects in order to gain beneficial effects with each other. The best one being Archfiend Emperor, because you could normal summon him without tributing, and you can just banish any Archfiend card to just blow up a card. You could do some weird shenanigans with him. You can use Palabyrinth to just banish it, summon another one. It gets the 3K attack boost. This also boosted all your fiends, so you could essentially end up having an Archfiend Emperor with 3500 attack. You have Archfiend Empress, which just cycles different Dark Fiend monsters. It doesn't specifically has to be Archfiends, but she also worked with the other ones. You also had Archfiend Commander, which was just a summon extender. You had Cavalry, which was a summon from the graveyard. And then you have Eris, which eventually became the most important Archfiend, because this Archfiend by herself catapulted a lot of archetypes and a lot of strategies, both in the main deck or in the side deck of certain strategies. So we're gonna move these out of the way. And then you got the miscellaneous Archfiends. These are Archfiends that are not, some of them are not real, they were not Archfiend by name, but they were treated as Archfiends, very similar to Summon Skull and Beast of Tall War. You also had Archfiend Eccentric, which just was generically just a good card, but it had Archfiend in the name, so it was searchable. Same thing with Trans Archfiend. This card was indirect Dark World support, but again, it is an Archfiend monster. And then you got Lesser Fiend that is just a really funny card. But yeah, now you have the archetype Archfiends. These were Archfiends that also tied to another archetype. Infernity, Regenesis, Lightsworn, Labyrinth, you name it. There were so many versions of Archfiend that just catapulted other strategies. Infinity was a tier 1 deck like back in 2014 and in years prior. Like this archetype got a lot of cards hit, including Archfiend itself. This card is still limited in the TCG for those who don't know. And let's not forget about Axe of Despair. Like, this is an old classic card. But yeah, it is always treated as an Archfiend card. So that's important. Alright. So, we can look at other ones. Like, you also had, like, Archfiend monsters that tied with the Red Ice team, tied with the Chaos team. Like, tied with the Chaos team again, tied with Red Dragon Archfiend, which this was its own archetype as well, with the Resonator monsters, like from the 5Ds era. But again, this is an Archfiend card because it has Archfiend in the name, so it also works with cards that benefit from it. So let's move all these cards out of the way, and now comes the most important part. Oh, before that, I guess we can show a few other Archfiends. Like, this Archfiend was relevant because of Unchained. This Archfiend was... I don't even know why this card was relevant. This one, I think people are familiar with this one. This is used as a tech card against certain strategies. Like, when Malice became a tier 1 deck, a lot of people were thinking, well, this card is really good against Malice. Right? We'll talk about similar Archfiends another time. Now, let's talk about all these new ones. So, this is a new category of Archfiend. We'll just call them the Emperor Archfiends. So, these Archfiends are going to debut in Burst Protocol, which will be our booster set for 2026. And these cards are really, really strong. Like, let's start with Doom Emperor Archfiend. Doom Emperor Archfiend is a pendulum ritual monster. And its pendulum effect is you can target one other Storm Trap on the field, blow it up alongside this card. Just a really good effect. Like, this effect is already good. Like, whether you're going first or you're going second, this card already does something like as a pendulum skill. Let's read the monster effect. This card, you can ritual summon this card with Throne of Archfiends. We'll get to that one in a moment. Must be ritual summoned. You can only use the first and third effect of this card once per turn. If this card is ritual summoned from the extra deck, that's very important because this ties to the pendulum effect. You can banish all monsters on the field except those in the extra monster zone. That's already strong. This is unaffected by other monsters in the extra monster zone. If this card is in the extra monster zone, you can special summon one fiend type monster from your hand, deck, graveyard, or banishment. Okay, this is a really, really strong effect. Remember all these Archfiends that we talked about? Well, 90% of these Archfiends can be summoned with Doom Emperor Archfiend. And not only that, you can also summon Labyrinth monsters, Infinity monsters, Unchained monsters, like Fiendsmith monsters if you want. Although you have to be careful because you will see later on some cards will lock you into the extra deck for Archfiends. Like, this effect alone already makes this card really powerful, but this effect is also really good. This means this card is a board breaker going second. And not only that, just being unaffected by monster effects, like, also really, really strong. Like, imagine you're facing Vanquish Soul and you summon this card on them. All of a sudden, your Vanquish Soul opponent is in trouble. Like, there's no real card that can get rid of this outside of probably Snow Devil. Think about like facing against the like other canine decks, or facing against like Draco Tail, for example. Like all these modern decks will just have a problem against this card. Imagine you summoning this card against Yummy. Like, like unless they would open like their Imperm or their or they use their what's the name of that card? The Yummy Surprise to just bounce this card. They're cooked. Like this card will just get rid of all of them. And I don't even have to say how powerful this effect is. Like, yeah, this card is just really good, and not just in the context of Archfiends. There's a world where you can just play this card in other Fiend type decks, as long as you meet the requirements for it. For more context, let's read the Throne of Archfiends, right? So this is a ritual spell, and this card reads: Ritual summon one Archfiend ritual monster from your hand, face-up, extra deck, graveyard, or banishment by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose level equals or exceeds the monster's level. During the standby phase, if Doom Emperor Archfiend is face-up in your extra deck, you can add this card from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. Okay, this card's good. The first thing we noticed is it mentions Doom Emperor Archfiend, so it is searchable with pre-preparation of rights. The other thing that's really good about this card is you know this Archfiend's Awakening that's right here, or this Doom Emperor Archfiend, or there's another one we'll talk about a few moments later. That card can just summon all of them. We'll talk about these cards in a second. I just want to talk about Matador real quick. So, yeah. This is another ritual monster you can summon with Throne of Archfiends. And this card, upon ritual summon, can just add 2 Archfiend cards. Except Matador itself. So, this card essentially, in the right hands, can become like a tool for the entire Archfiend archetype. But more than that, again, this goes back to what I said about the splashability with Fiend type monsters. Like, imagine you're playing, let's say, Labyrinth, for example, and you just tribute like one of the big Labyrinth monsters for this, and you just summon the Doom Emperor, right? Like, all of a sudden, your Doom Emperor can just summon Ariana, and then you have the entire Labyrinth setup going. Activating this like in the Unchained deck, and like, yeah, this is just a really good engine, like already right off the bat. Alright, so let's talk about Duke Archfiend first. So Duke Archfiend reads, you can target one face-up monster you control, send one Archfiend monster from your deck to your graveyard except Duke Archfiend, and if you do, increase its level by the sent monster's level. When your ritual monster is destroyed by battle while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. So Duke Archfiend is a good card in the context of Archfiend Eris. Remember when we talked about Archfiend Eris a little bit earlier? And how this card just adapted into other Fiend type strategies like in the future? Well, yeah. You can Duke Archfiend send Eris at Royal Archfiend. We'll talk about him in a moment. And all of a sudden, like, you will get to your engine real quick. Or you can Duke into Harris, Harris into Throne. This is now level 7 because you send Harris. So there's the ritual and requirement for either Awakening, Matador, or Doom Emperor Archfiend. Really good card. But again, it's in the context of Eris. You can send other Archfiend cards. Maybe those other Archfiend cards are good in the graveyard. But like, Eris is the best one. we all know how this goes. Let's talk about Highness Archfiend. Well, let's talk about Royal Archfiend first. So Royal Archfiend reads, you can tribute this card from your hand or field. Add one Archfiend card from your deck to your hand, except Royal Archfiend. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except Archfiend monsters. Also, you can normal summon one Fiend monster in addition to your normal summon or set. When your ritual monster is destroyed by battle, this card can recur itself, very similar to Duke Archfiend. This card is really, really strong. Like, again, this is just a really good card, like, generically. Labyrinth doesn't care about the extra deck, so there's a world where you can just play Duke, Royal, and Doom in the Labyrinth deck. Did you notice the attributes? Water, and fire, and dark. That means none of these conflict with Dominus Impulse, which is already really strong. Yeah, this card's incredible. Just an extra normal for your Fiends is really strong. Also, just searching any Labyrinth in the Archfiend card is really strong. There's really nothing bad I have to say about this card. Let's talk about Highness Archfiend. So, first of all, this is a light Fiend, so Fiend's Extract. This card reads, if this card is normal summoned, you can banish one Archfiend card from your graveyard, add two Archfiend cards from your deck to your hand, except Highness Archfiend. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Archfiend monsters. When your ritual monster is destroyed by battle with this card in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. It seems like all these Archfiends have the same condition, whether or not like your ritual monster dies. Which is kind of cool. Like, this one is a really strong beater. This one, like, not so much, but, you know, just recursion is fine. This one is also really good. Did you notice that both Highness and Royal Archfiend have Monarch stats? Yeah. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but yeah. Pretty cool. So right off the bat, we already have 3 consistency cards and a really strong boss monster. Like, if this alone already makes the archetype, like, already makes Archfiend good again. If they ever were good in the past, or however, right? Let's read Strategy Game. So this is a field spell, and the field spell reads, Fiend type monsters in the extra deck gain 1000 attack. You can activate one of these effects. Banish one Fiend or Archfiend card from your hand or graveyard. Add one Archfiend card from your deck to your hand, except a field spell. Just another good card. Just like, again, this can add any Archfiend cards. This can add all of these. And if I'm not mistaken, this one doesn't lock you. So there's a world where you can just play this in other decks that just need those Archfiend cards. Imagine you playing this in like Regenesis or in like Infernity and just getting these cards. Imagine this just banishing to just grab an Archfiend Eccentric, or banishing with this to add like the Archfiend Emperor, or banishing with this to just like add Simul Archfiend, which is a floodgate. Yeah, really, there's nothing bad I have to say about this card. It is weak to Artifact Lancia, but I mean, who is Lanciaing against Archfiends, right? I mean, maybe they will after knowing what this card does. let's go with the trap cards. So this is Archfiends Jest. You can only attack one with these cards per turn. Special summon one level 7 or lower Archfiend monster from your hand or deck. Or if you have a face-up Archfiend Ritual monster from your deck, you can special summon one Royal Archfiend, Duke Archfiend, and Highness Archfiend from your deck or hand instead. I don't see the point of you summoning these like on special summon. Like this trigger on normal summon. This is a hand effect, and this one doesn't do anything on your opponent's turn. So this card is not that good. However, in the context of special summoning a level 7 or lower Archfiend, this could be good. Sadly, they missed the mark with Regenesis. Like, this is level 8. Otherwise, it would have been really good with that card. But, yeah, maybe there is an Archfiend monster that's worth summoning that is actually a lower level. Chat, well, in the comments, you will tell me if that is the case. Yeah, that is the case with this card. Alright. So, let's go with Archfiend's Vigor. This is a continuous trap, and this card reads, if you control Archfiend Ritual Monster in the extra monster zone, target one face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. If this card is banished from your hand or field, you can add one Archfiend card from your deck to your hand, except Archfiend's Vigor. So what you're telling me is, if you banish Vigor with Strategy Game, this gets to search an Archfiend card alongside another Archfiend card. That's not that bad. Also, the field effect of this card is actually pretty good. Like, Doom Emperor Archfiend is already hard to out, at least by monsters. So just having this have the ability to like aid the Doom Emperor from being outed is also really strong. And if the card ends up getting banished for some reason, maybe let's read this card real quick. Well, this needs a Fiends type monster to be banished, not a Archfiend card. I need to make sure. Yeah, this is not a bad card at all. I'd say this is the weak. Well, Archfiend Jest is the weakest card, but Archfiend's Vigor is also really strong. I mean, it's also not that great. This card is kind of good, cool. But yeah. Another year of Archfiends. And these ones are actually not that bad. I would say, like, will Archfiends finally be a tier 1 deck? Will these old Archfiends find a place with the new Archfiend cards? Will Primate Archfiends featuring Summon Skull be a thing? Will Archfiend Matador arrive in the TCG alongside these other Archfiend cards? All of these are a mystery. But for now, all I gotta say is keep practicing and keep dueling.